Starting the stream, singing in my voices, pressing the go button on alphageekradio.com because there are live streaming partners. I always say it weird, man. I don't know. I can't get it. I can't shake it.
You're listening to Alpha Geek Radio.
No. That's a lot
You're
of clipping.
listening to Buddy and the Dog here on Alpha Geek Radio.
What if we should rename our we should rename our show to Buddy and the Dog, and then Todd would be like, "What the hell happened to the just go like just a terror?" Anyway, let's start the show.
We should literally just do a morning radio show. We'll do it still at the same time, but we'll do just an asinine thing. Oh, David Cameron fucked a pig. You can't see that on air. Well, anyways, here's Imagine Dragons.
Which we'll have to cut out because you can't actually play that in the podcast.
No, we'll still play it, and then we'll give them their local traffic and news from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That is the worst helicopter. Okay, we're starting the show.
Sorry.
Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And I'm going to be in Michigan this time tomorrow night.
Woo-woo!
Well, at least on my way to
you'll
Michigan.
be in the air. You'll be in the air.
Well, not even in the air. I'll be at the airport on my side.
Getting slightly fondled by the TSA.
Only slightly?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a white
Not
guy.
if I yell the word bomb at you.
Don't do that! God, you're just crazy enough to... enough.
Thank you guys for listening to Just Cool Enough. This has been our last episode. I wish we could have we're one short of 300, but unfortunately we were canceled by the government.
Thank you, Ike. Not only did you blow our entire budget, but you got the show canceled by the government.
Don't say blow. No,
God!
I am so embezzling all the $13 we have in our PayPal account.
Oh my gosh, we have to stop. Don't peg the radar for Ike's flying. All right. This is episode 299, and somebody came up to me and was like, "Joe, what are you going to do for special for episode 300?" And I said,
the day before, he's going to message all of us and said, "What should we do?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's fucking too late to decide."
Then the hour before, he'll message us and say, "Sorry, guys, I can't make it tonight."
Episode 300, can't do it. This episode 299 is just going to be hyped for 300, and then 300 is going to be really bad.
No, I think we should really hype the shit out of 300 and then just not do it.
We'll just skip 300 and go to 301.
No, we will quit.
No,
it's done.
299. Like, what happened did Ike ever meet Joe? Did Eric ever complete his job?
And anytime anyone asks, we'll just literally go, "Oh yeah, it's coming."
It's coming, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's live every Saturday morning.
Right when Max Speed airs, right after
Max Speed. So we have some lovely emails sent to us to our email inbox. The email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. That email address again is theshow@justcoolenough.com, and you can share your brain thoughts just like these three people did. Yeah, we got 3 of them. I'm very excited. By the way, if you've ever considered donating to the show and just haven't got around to it, what the hell's your problem, first of all? Second of all, why not donate some of your time by rating and reviewing us on iTunes or wherever you're getting this podcast? Because that would actually be helpful.
Before you say we have emails?
Well, no, we got emails.
Yeah, well, it's the same problem we had last week that Eric pointed out. You point out we have emails, and then you go on a side rant about everything that's not really...
Yeah, you're like, "We've got emails. By the way, donate us. And can I talk about... Anyway, so I was at this charity auction," and then you never get to what...
Man, charity auctions
Speaking of charity... Yeah.
Dude, I went to... No, okay.
No, we're not doing this. No, we're not doing this.
We're doing emails.
The reason I do that,
we're not. No.
Okay, let's peer behind the curtain.
I have something I want to share too, but I don't want to ruin the email site. This is the email
Okay, this is the email segment. I'm trying to buy you time. That's why I do that.
Well, I'm looking at it, but I'm also curious as if I can read all of these emails. Not like am I capable, but like should I read all of these emails? Last time people were starring off emails, and then I was told not to read them after.
Let's do more exposition.
Well, Joe does the whole any email gets a star automatically read on air, whereas I'm slightly more discerning.
Yeah, I'm very liberal with the use of stars.
Yeah, it's like, "Joe, this is just a message from PayPal that they updated their terms of service." Starred!
I want Ike to read it. It'll be funny. We can make a joke out of it. All right, anyway, Ike.
I was also told, speaking of emails, as I get ready to read this...
We got this email from Indiegogo support. It says...
but to just let everyone know, this is the only criticism I heard about our emails right as we begin the emails. That's what I bring up now. Is we usually get emails, and then we encourage people to email us, and then when we get them, we alienate the person by telling them how terrible they are at writing the emails, and then we're shocked when we don't get more emails. And that was brought up to me by one of our listeners, who directly said, "Why do you do that?" Like he was one of the people I alienated. And his poor grammar. So
well, tell him to.
It wouldn't be a problem. We wouldn't alienate people if you guys just emailed better and read your messages before you sent
we're
them.
just looking for high quality emails
Well,
here.
we are your distant dad, who you're always going to try and struggle for approval from, but you're never going to quite get it.
And then, like, when we die on our deathbed, we'll be like, we won't even give you the satisfaction to let you know that we were proud of you the entire time. But we would never say that.
Speaking of quality emails, we have this email from The Better Joe.
What?
Media's view on YouTubers. Hey, JCE crew. I know this is somewhat old news, but what are your opinions on the media's view on YouTube celebrities? It seems like the media bashes on YouTube celebrities out of fear that YouTube and other internet celebrities are becoming the growing source of entertainment as opposed to regular television programming. I agree with Pat's view from Game Theory about this, and I'll provide you a link to the video at the end of the email. Also, how dare you, Joe? How dare you change your Twitter handle from SpeedyF40? How dare you turn your back on your past? What's wrong with you? Sincerely, Better Joe, and he linked us the Game Theory stuff.
Yeah, I don't have to watch that, but yeah, basically, people are like, oh my god, PewDiePie makes millions of dollars every... Fucking congratulations to him. I wish I was doing that.
I think it's a bunch of haters.
The media is like this all the time. They hate the internet because it's obsolete. It's the same reason why newspapers hate the internet, because now newspapers are fucking dead. They're not dying. They're dead. They're straight up dead. Newspapers and magazines are dead. And television's on.
They're not dead. I use them for paper mache in my classroom all the time.
Think of the children. What are they going to use for paper mache?
Think. What are the birds going to shit on that's easily to clean up?
Old iPads.
Yeah.
Here's your old Kindle Fire. If the birds
we'll
could
give you
shit
$5 for your old iPad to recycle at our Apple store. You'll get a $5. Sorry, I already used mine to clean up my bird shit.
Yeah.
my bird
Sorry,
cage.
I put my iPad 2 under my bird cage, and then after about a week, I threw it out. But yeah, I mean,
seriously, that's like how it is, though. You could buy 6 Amazon Fire tablets, like new ones, for $50. I'm like, what the fuck? You just throw this out,
Well, a little bit of masking tape around the edge of an iPad, and you have yourself a dustpan.
There you go. Or anyway, yeah. So
I mean, yeah, they hate it because it's. I don't know if it's all. I mean, he says the media. I don't know. I mean, I don't see a lot of coverage on like television about it, but television hates the internet because the internet's going to replace it. I mean,
you watch television, Eric?
I do, but that's. I mean,
television.
I have cable still, but that's just because. I'm too lazy. I don't actually pay for it. You know, my mom does, and I'm too lazy to do it. But I watch stuff on the internet as much as I watch. I mean, more people watch stuff on Hulu these days than they are starting to watch on cable. You know, it's changed. The landscape's changing. I think people are jelly. People are totes jelly.
I think that's
that some dude plays video games and acts like a dick. And 12-year-olds fucking eat that shit up because they love that shit. And congratulations, he makes $1 million. I wish I tried it. I've tried. I did reviews for 3 years. I did Let's Plays, and nobody gives a shit about my opinion. I'm not sweet. I'm not British or European of any description, so I'll never make it as a Let's Player. I found that out because you have to have a British accent or be a lady, which is unfortunate, but whatever. It's not in the cards for me.
What if you just worked on a British accent? Like maybe you took comedy classes and you got substantially funny.
Vagina, I think
there's dialogue coaches and stuff. I could start developing a British accent if I wanted.
Yeah, cheers. Let's go, chap.
In my opinion, I think YouTube people work super hard. I'm not saying that famous people don't work super hard to get where they are, but YouTubers generally, it's all on them.
Right,
yeah,
and that's the thing.
Felicia Day got where she is because she busted her ass to get there.
Exactly.
She wasn't looking for somebody to, agent
nobody
out.
Yeah, nobody would make things and put her in them. So she made her own thing, and now she's got a media empire. It's the same with Chris Hardwick.
That's how life. That is fucking life right there. if you're just sitting around waiting for things to happen, like, we know nobody's going to come and find this show. We would have to promote it. If it was like, we would actually have to work weekly to make the show big. We know what it would take, but it's just...
And Joe's going to get right on that after he finishes all those other things he's always tried to do.
I'm still working on the follow-up for Max Speed. It's going to be great.
You just wait, guys.
You can just wait. It's going to be amazing. But, like, that's... One time somebody said, man, you got so lucky, right? Like, with all the stuff that I got going on. And I was just like, dude, this isn't luck. Like, that's where you're wrong. And that's your mindset. That's wrong. It's not luck. It's fucking hustle. Like, you have to be going. And these YouTube guys, look at all the top channels that are pumping out stuff 2 times a week, 3 times a week. That's what they do daily. That's their grind. And
yeah, like we've talked to Swag Nozzle, who was like, he wanted to really kind of get into that, but he also the scope of just listening and talk about the amount of stuff he would have to put in.
Right.
It
and
does
Swag does good stuff.
And it's funny. He's like I watched, like, when he first was like, hey, I like your show, and he was like did his YouTube thing, and he didn't have many more like views than anything I did really, but he kept like doing like almost every other day releasing videos, and suddenly he was doing way better than I ever did, because I'd do something once every 2 weeks. It's
because YouTube's built on a quantity thing. As long as the quality is good enough, people will watch it.
Good enough.
And maybe we should change our name to Just Good Enough. But that's the thing. Like, and I've seen a big shift in this, especially in tech and in the automobile side of things. People used to do these long-form pieces, 20 minutes, 30 minutes long on cars, and now they've just cut these things up to like 5-minute. Matt Farah does 1 takes, and the Engineering Explained guy used to go. I mean, he's always been pretty consistent and long, but yeah, like the short-form content every day. That's what
So
sells.
Eric, I figured it out. I know that you have your job right now, but maybe what you need to do is start your own side YouTube project, and then you can blow up and leave Joe and I behind.
I'm waiting for that to happen.
I'm trying.
I thought that happened.
I've been trying.
Yeah,
Dude,
but it was working. You were working with the video game thing. People were following. And when you stopped, like, we got all those emails about, like, why the fuck did he stop doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, like, I was
I
just
keep
waiting.
having ideas for things I want to do, but then like I don't form the idea soon enough, and then like because I had an idea for like Batman and stuff, and then I was like, but by the time it started to like really form, that game had been out for 4 weeks, and now it's like Metal Gear. I kind of thought it started to have an idea, but now I think it's too late to release a Metal Gear.
You want to know
video.
something shitty? My most successful YouTube video I put up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was because I was having problems with my Fitbit Surge, and it's just my most successful one. And the reason it doesn't have the most views yet, but it absolutely will. It's called How to Reset a Fitbit Surge. Parenthesis, dot in the middle of the screen, close parenthesis. Right now it has 921 views and 6 likes, and 2 or 3 people commented, and they're just so happy that I made this video of step-by-step instructions. And I was like, that's it. I'm just gonna get into the YouTube help out game. That's what I'm in. That's my new retirement plan.
But you get all the free product too. Eventually, if you get big enough, people are like, here, take my Fit. Like, we will give you a Fitbit.
I love those kinds of
only-
things, because you're like, how the fuck does this thing do? And then you search, and there's a YouTube video. The only problem is when you look it up, and like the top one is either a guy who doesn't have a microphone, so it's just him like text, and I was like,
I hate that.
I'll just read a goddamn article. Or it's like the worst is like I'll look at it's like, how do I do this thing in After Effects? I want to make this video look cool, so I'll like type it in, and it'll be this like a 12-year-old kid is like, okay, so this is what you have to open up.
I hate learning by a 12-year-old kid, but it works.
Yeah, I'm sure he's great, but I can't. I'm like, I'm
it's
sorry,
hard
kid.
to listen to a little kid.
They should add a voice filter. I mean, you can speed up the pace at which a YouTube video goes. You should also be able to change the voice quality, so that if you have a kid like this, you just have this, and he's like this while he's trying to tell you, like, okay, I feel a little bit better. At least his voice is deeper than mine. Now I can take this.
I just got a new comment on my video 3 hours ago that says, thank you so much. God damn it.
It touches Joe's heart, literally, because he's probably having a heart attack right now.
I got this Batman watch for work. It doesn't have any buttons. It's got like one central button, and I had to change the time, and I kind of had to figure it. I had to read an article, and I had to show because a couple other people got these watches because they're $10 at the Hot Topic, which is right next to the park.
They gave them out Loot Crate.
And I was like showing a person how to reset the time. So maybe I'll do that. I'll do a YouTube video about how to reset the times on these and make bank.
Or all you need to do is buy like the next iPhone when it comes out and drop it on the pavement. Like, this is drop test from the front, and then just drop it, and you'll get so many views.
That's like being a shock jock, though. Like, just like, but I honestly, because I've been looking at new keyboards and everything, I'm like, man, I'm about to order in 3 or 4 keyboards and just compare them. It's like, why wouldn't I make a video of that? Just not even for views, just to help out, because there's just no content about Cherry MX green switches. I need to learn more. But anyway,
I had as a recap for anybody out there listening for the first time, I had talked to one of our old listeners who hasn't listened in quite a while, and I mentioned that Joe has...
Good riddance! Fuck that guy! Fuck that guy! I hope his mom dies.
I'm like, Eric has finally got a job, and the person was shocked, and then I explained what he did. He was like, oh, okay. I'm like, and he's got his, he's driving. He's on his mom's car insurance, and once again shocked. He said, well, maybe I'm not too shocked, because Eric always seemed to be the one who had, like, the motivation to go places. I'm like, no, Joe to me seems the one who has a lot of motivation and the ideas, and just lacks the ambition to follow through, because you have so many of them that it's like if you throw enough shit against the wall, eventually something will stick.
That's actually I think I get classified as like somebody who's not following through with a project, but
because you don't follow through with a project.
Well, no, it's called fail early and often, and you just got to call it early. If it's not working, you call it, and you say, okay, that's not going to work.
So I'm going to show up Friday, and you're going to be signing the divorce papers at the...
they just, fail early and often. It works with everything. But seriously, like that, I get boxed. I think I have a bad reputation because of that. But I really don't, because I don't look at the failure. I don't think of it as a failure. That person
was like, let's count how many different podcasts Joe has had or started that have only lasted a few, and he started going through them all.
Oh yeah,
from max speed at least forward.
But that's the thing. Like, it's just like I gotta feel it out. I don't know if I like it till I'm trying it. So
yeah, he's halfway convinced he's done with this show.
I mean, yeah, I'm still. I think 300. We're gonna have to give it at least 600 till I really know if this is gonna work or not.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for it to take off, like really work. Anyway, I want to address the other part of the email because I changed my name to Joe Q Carr on Twitter. Speedy F40 I've had since 1997, and that name's really it started to bother me in the last year actually.
Well, I understand. And for other people out there who don't know this, Joe's having his wedding reception on Friday, and we'd love you to send him some emails congratulating him, or even just like cat pictures, or pretty much anything. Dick pics. You can send those to speedyf40@gmail.com, because he's moved on from speedyf40. So clearly, when he asked me to send him an email at speedyf40 today, you can see I was a little shocked after he's changed his Twitter handle.
No, but I kind of understand, because like when I moved, especially when I moved out here, and I wanted to be, I wanted to like distance myself a little from the guy from World of Warcraft, my World of Warcraft name. But unfortunately, I have no choice, because Dunkor it's an easy thing. It's easy to spell.
Eric Reichert's been taken everywhere else.
The successful Eric Reichert.
There's a lot of Eric Reicherts out there, but the same guy has all of the good stuff. He's got the email. He's got the Twitter. Website.
That's my Eric Reichert.
Yeah, he's got all of the anything worthwhile named Eric Reichert. He has.
The kid's a superstar, man.
Use ericreichert.com.
That kid, he does all the good stuff. He's mining Bitcoin. He's running marathons. He's saving babies from burning buildings. I think he's on vacation right now, actually. Lucky guy. But yeah, so it was kind of in that vein. Like, man, I've had Speedy F40 for so long, and I loved the name, but the straw that broke the camel's back for me was I logged into Race Team Manager, and it's the worst thing being named Speedy F40 in a racing game, because it's like Elite Sniper 01, like that, like an FPS or Strategy Guy 14. I didn't like it, so I'm like, you know what, it's time to change. So I've been kind of dreaming it up for a while, and who knows, maybe Joe Q Carr is the start of another project. You don't know. I could be failing right now. Maybe I could be failing right now. You don't know. Let's move on to the next email here from Brady.
So this one's from Brady Rady, one of our longtime listeners, writers.
We
here
love
on the
Brady.
show. We do. He said, just singularity enough.
He made an awesome singularity joke about the Speedy F40 name on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're not going to get the joke, so follow the Twitter.
Hey, JCE crew, with the inevitability of a singularity coming upon us in our lifetime, how will you deal with forever? I think it looks like Joe. Well, there's another question, so we'll wait till that. So, how will you deal with forever?
Well, I'm actually looking forward to the singularity, and I guess not looking forward to the singularity at the same time. You know what? I'll tell you once it happens.
I mean, as much as I love the idea of the singularity in our lifetime, doubt it.
I don't think it's in our lifetime, but probably, I don't know, at the speed computers are progressing and the leaps and bounds we've made, all it takes is one fateful leap and then we're there. We don't even know it. In fact, it could already be happening now, but we don't know because we're just dumb humans. Things could be happening behind our back. We have no idea.
At risk of sounding like I'm stealing from John Oliver, I think I'm going to start a church called Our Lady of the Singularity.
Just worship it.
Yeah,
see if
why
you can
not?
See if you can get a religious exemption from being.
Well, and I can promise you untold riches if you send us money.
I mean, we should probably file Just Cool Enough as a church, though, for real.
He also. Yep.
All right. Next question.
No. When you said "till death do us part" to your new bride, did you even think that you may never die, but instead live the rest of eternity in a data center somewhere?
That'd be cool. Actually, I really hope that I'm putting enough of myself on the internet that I can be digitally recreated one day later.
Yeah, straight up Caprica style.
Yeah, man. I mean, I never saw Caprica because you told me not to watch it.
Yeah, it's not good. But that's the whole plot, is that this guy's daughter explodes in a terrorist attack, and he like fucking looks at her Facebook and Twitter and makes a virtual version of her.
Or you'll end up like Johnny Depp in that movie he did,
Transcendence.
I mean, don't you think we've put ourselves out there enough where a good algorithm can capture?
No, I'm afraid. If they made an algorithm of all the bullshit that I put on the internet, I'm afraid.
Well, it's like I was there's this British sci-fi show, Black Mirror, that's really interesting, and that's one of the things is like this woman's husband dies, and they make a sort of a digital version of him, and it like learns and becomes more like him, using all his social media to be like him, and eventually she gets like a physical version of him, but it looks like more handsome than him because it's a composite of all the photos on the internet of himself, and you only put the best photos of yourself, so it looks like a little better than he would normally look and stuff.
So what you're saying is that if I ever want a true version of me out there, I should upload all my shit photos of myself to the internet to make sure it's as accurate as possible.
I mean, like every inch of me is pretty much on the internet. So well, no, I mean like almost every part, but like there's some to be left to imagination.
They'll be like, Sarah, we have this digital copy of Joe. Everything's pretty accurate, but we couldn't nail down his genitalia, so
we're going to leave that up to you. If you could just set that up for us. She's like, I don't know how it looks. We're still waiting to... We were waiting...
I do? We didn't say we were going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to wait
His family is super Catholic.
Yeah, I can't even do it yet.
We can't have sex.
Are we going to crowd around you on Friday night while you guys consummate your marriage? And we'll all be there
they can't have sex until after she has her first kid.
Duh. They changed that. Yeah, like the Pope Francis changed it to you can't do that.
Yeah, until God gives you a baby, you can't have one.
Brady also said if we need more emails, we could also read his last email since you guys really fucked up and thought you read it but never actually read it.
For
just Alzheimer's enough.
Just a little continuity. A little context for our.
Stop using that word, please.
I know. I was seeing if you're paying attention.
You have to use it 3 times correctly for it to be yours, Joe. You can't just go flinging around words.
Let me give the listeners context. A few episodes ago, we didn't read out Brady's email, and we had an argument about it if we read it or not.
I'm pretty sure I was right. I said we hadn't read it. I think you guys said you had.
We were like, oh, yeah, you didn't know that we didn't. We already read it because your internet shitted out. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever, bye. But we didn't read it. So we should star that email for like a rainy day email.
I tried looking it up. I couldn't find it, and I don't give a shit.
I think it's like vacation at school or something.
You did?
Hey Brady, can you resend that for us?
Just go back in your sent folder and resend that shit.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
thanks.
I'm looking at
If you
it
can do
now.
it before the end of the show, I'll even read it today.
I'm looking at it now. There's not really it's not really worth
See,
reading.
this is what I was talking about. Alienating the people that write into us.
I know, right? Eric, come on, quit being a dick.
No, I'm just saying that.
We
what
need to be
does.
celebrating longtime
I don't-
listeners.
Listen, I don't want to be taken out of context here. All I'm saying is that
There's a
don't.
continuity, Eric.
Yeah,
No.
it's continuity. Don't
I
get
don't
taken
wanna-
out of continuity.
I don't want to be misquoted. I'm just saying that I don't respect Brady as a listener or a human being. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right
You
now.
know what? You're gonna be like
Didn't
when.
Brady send us $50 so that you and I could make it over to
No,
Joe's?
that's just for you, Ike. We're
Well,
gonna
now
buy.
it is.
Yeah. I vote that money goes directly to Ike.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
second
that
that.
was. Obviously, that was a joke. I don't respect any of our listeners as humans.
Or us, actually.
Yeah.
He doesn't respect anyone. I was okay.
That's really why they had to tell Eric he wasn't
I
allowed to
respect
talk
Donald
on his
Trump
job.
because he speaks his mind and says it like it is.
Yeah, you're that guy.
Apparently, he went on to say, you did the secret show, in air quotes, the day after I sent it in and never read it. Then started to read it at the next show, but then stopped because Eric thought it had already been read out, even though no one remembered. Y'all effed up, but I still love you, Brady. And then Eric ends it with, he has no respect for you.
For any of the listeners, any single one of them.
Maybe that's why. Maybe you're just not likable enough for us to get more listeners.
Th-
Let's do just likable
I'm
enough.
not. Yeah, if you want to kick me off to be more likable, that's fine. I got
It's just
other
gonna be
stuff.
me and Ike breathing into a microphone.
Yeah, that'll last for 2 episodes before you chalk that one up to the failure
Well,
column.
let's
and
fail
we'll-
quick on this one. Oh,
We
jeez.
got
I
this
think we have,
third email from Fuzzy Nuggets. Fuzzy Nuts. Awkward. Fuzzy Nugget says cottage cheese with a lowercase cottage. I don't know.
Weird.
To the show. Or is it to the show? As Eric has revived his ability to drive and to keep on that topic, period, I would like to know your experiences in changing lanes and the use of turn signals, period. Lately, in our local...
Why do you keep saying period?
Because he's putting them in the wrong places. He's not using proper punctuation, and I'm having trouble getting through this email. No, the lately, there should have been a comma there, and he double-spaced it and put a lowercase l afterwards.
Hey, he might not be from this country. Sometimes they use periods instead of commas in
yeah.
certain countries.
How does he spell color?
Lately, in
It
our
doesn't come up.
Lately, in our local, the use of a turn signal tells the driver you are about to merge in front of to speed up and close the gap. For some reason, they believe that me getting in front of them all of a sudden is going to prevent them from getting to where they are headed. So lately, I've noticed no one wants to use a turn signal to change lanes. Now, this pisses me off as I have to slam on the brakes in order to allow someone over that I had no idea that they have decided, in this instance, to get over. Just like to hear your thoughts on the subject. Sorry, I misread that. Just like to hear your thoughts on the subject. To quote a great George C., I used to be a nice person until I got into traffic with you cocksuckers. Oh, and as a critique of my grammar, no feelings hurt, I'm no English major. There is no rough draft, reread, rewrite, and final draft coming from this terminal. Not enough time in me ADD life for that. I think it's the only real thing I like about the show is that if I don't get the subject, no need to worry. It's going to spin out of into another one quickly. And the
The
subject
best
of this
part about the
email-
show is that we just out of
God,
control.
you can't read for nothing.
Oh my
I love how
God.
he specifically did this, I think, just to make you seem like an
I'm
asshole.
pretty sure he did.
And the subject of this email is, quote, just because. Everything in this world has a degree of just because. Fuzzy Nuggets.
I think Fuzzy Nuggets is a philosopher in our times.
Yep. Well, speaking of driving, so when I got home Saturday night about 1:30, my car, a lot of steam was coming off of it, and
Oh God, Eric.
so I apparently burst some coolant pipes, which sucked.
Oh.
So I was without a car for a couple of days, which would which is sucked because I had freedom
You
for
had
like a week, and then it was
tasted it.
ripped away from me, and it was terrible. I
There
got
was
the car back.
time. There was finally
Yeah,
time.
that's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. I had to fucking get a ride a bunch of places and stuff like that. And
He just thought to himself, you know what? Maybe I will drive to Michigan. I've always wanted to do that. And then the car blew up.
I will have you know that as soon as I was able to drive, I burned all the bridges. Like, I did not wait. I immediately burned all the bridges, so I had to do a lot of backtracking on Sunday and Monday to get rides places. But yeah, it's sucked.
I
But
don't
now
care for you and your freaking car, you asshole.
Yeah, I don't need a
Okay.
ride from your shitbags anymore. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Beep
Yeah.
beep. Wow.
Fuck you,
remember what I
Matt.
said?
Why don't you take your Honda back to San Diego? But
I never
Remember I
liked
said
your
I was-
Integra anyway. You pile of
I was-
shit.
I was practicing improv for my class on how to be an asshole. I didn't really mean that.
I had a character audition. I was
Was I
I was-
convincing as an asshole? Because that's what I was shooting
You
for.
could take your Suburban and shove it up your ass because I got something fuel efficient. See you later, Kyle.
yeah. Kyle, he doesn't drive the Suburban
I know.
anymore.
I'm driving.
But yeah, it's. But as for people, I got the car back, so it should be fine. I haven't driven it yet, but
So what? It probably just the lines rotted out because it's like a 10 or
one
12
of
year old
the
car.
one of the coolant lines burst. He said it was in pieces, and we had all of them replaced just in case.
Good idea.
But yeah, it should be fine. But then, speaking of changing lanes, yeah, most people are pretty good about it, but you do have the people who are in a hurry to go nowhere and will just kind of bob and weave out of
I
traffic.
can't stand that. Like it's just, man, change. I am a blinker. I'm a blinker fiend. Even small turns, I'm like, I'm turning now. Watch out. This is happening. I'm driving a 3,000 or 4,000 pound vehicle. You should use your blinker, people. I can't stand non-blinker people. I think they should, and people that ride or try to pass in the right lane. I hate those guys.
I had somebody. I was pulling out of the alleyway where to get through our apartment's parking garage. It's this really small street, and you can't people park on the street, so it's really hard to see. But I know oncoming traffic's coming from my left side, so I didn't. So I was like, no car's coming, about to turn out, and somebody pulled around a car driving in the wrong side of the road to get around because they had such a big hurry to get to. They had to fucking get around these people and drive the opposite.
Was it a woman with an English accent? Maybe she had someplace she had to be right away.
I don't know.
Maybe it's from Ireland or something.
It was like a big Bronco or Suburban or some giant fucking monstrosity that has no business in this tiny city with no place to park. But it was just like, what the fuck?
So just kind of to dovetail into something that I wanted to bring up on the show. I
didn't get to put in my 2 cents.
Okay,
on
put
this
your 2 cents in. I didn't know you were gonna.
Speaking of
Massachusetts-
Mike talking, so the other day,
See, Massachusetts, blinkers, stop signs, red lights, what else? Oh, speed limits are all merely suggestions here. So people tend not to use their blinkers.
Dude, for real, when I was over there riding around with
No,
Rob,
it's still my turn to talk.
I was just gonna say, the term massholes totally makes sense to me.
use your conversation blinkers when you're gonna jump in.
Let's
Okay,
jump
yeah,
into
you
the
just-
conversation.
Just put your hazard blinkers on. Click, 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 click.
And then the people in the right-hand lane that try to pass on the highway, I usually will speed up when I'm in the left-hand lane just
I
to be
do
a
that
dick.
too. I do that too.
I'm like,
I
you
try to
wanna
make it
play
look
this way.
nonchalant though. I'm just like, just a normal guy in the middle lane that's keeping you in the right lane. Don't mind me, you asshole. Pass on the left, and then I try
And
to
then
box
you
him
pull
into a
up to the
truck.
you pull slow the next car, so they get behind you and they fucking tailgate you. Just slow down until they
Dude,
get pissed off, pull over, and then
One of my cars cost $500. I would brake check people if they get close to me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do? If you
my
rear end
God.
me, that's on you. Like, come on, come at me, bro. Like, seriously, your car's worth like orders of magnitude more. Come at me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was like,
Joe Garriotti. Joe
please-
Q Car. Remember the name.
please crash into this car. We'll use the money to get a down payment on a much better car.
See that's called the swoop and squat, Eric.
I think you just figured out your next license plate, Joe.
Swoop and
Joe-
squat.
No, Joe Q car.
Can I
think
do
you're
that?
done.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I
You
can. That totally
you had
fits.
Pone Noob.
I have Pone Noobs with one N right now.
Anyway, speaking of Pone Noob, one last thing before you get to your show, before you get to your story. I mean, we got Brady emailed us back, even though Eric found it. I'm going to read it because I said I would, and I'm going to keep the continuity in the show.
I'm
Oh,
talking.
we read this email. I know
already
we read this email.
I'm pretty sure, actually, did we, or was that the time when he was gone?
No, we did like a thing. We read this email. So
No, yeah, I think we did. Anyway, I wanted to
All right,
talk
we'll
about
just
the
come back to
passenger
it.
side. So I'm a terrible passenger. Like, I cannot ride in a vehicle. It makes me anxious. It stresses me out. So I had Sarah drive me to work, and then I had my friend Nick drive me back from work because things are going on for whatever reason, and I was terrified. I cannot be a passenger in a car in any capacity. Even if it's totally safe, I'm just like, is your foot on the brake? Okay, go here. There's a guy coming up right on the right. Like, and this is all going through my head, but I'm just like trying to be quiet.
You're like a nervous mom.
I am. I'm like, that's exactly how I felt. I'm like
A nervous mom and her 15-year-old kids just starting to drive.
That's how I
There's
feel.
an easy way to solve that, Joe. You put Hearthstone on your phone, and you play Hearthstone while they're doing their driving, because you're forced to look down at the screen.
We have a
And then you're
special-
not paying attention to what they're doing. And then when you die in a fiery blaze of death, at least you went out doing something fun.
That's what I resorted to. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna look at my phone. And I'm like, I know the semi's coming up. I can't do it. I don't know. Like, I must be a control freak or something. I usually am the driver. Like, I'm the person driving, and I am so bad at being a passenger. I can't do it. It freaking messes me up. And Eric, I don't know how you were a passenger for so long. Like,
I didn't have a lot of choice.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like oh boy, I like this. I'm gonna keep. I didn't have a choice. I was a passenger.
because like
He
Sarah,
actually got his professional licensure in being a passenger, and that was his profession.
licensed passenger.
Yeah, I'm a good navigator. So
I bet, yeah.
Well, you
And
see
I always
those
appreciate
dolls
that.
like women could put in cars to scare off, people from raping them or trying to get them. That was Eric. I mean, he wasn't quite as intimidating, so he still had to inflate himself a little bit
No,
with some pool floaties. But
here it's just people who drive with me so they can use the carpool lanes.
Oh yeah, you're just like a free carpool. Like, Eric, just sit in the car. Make sure you crack the window when you park for Eric.
And by carpool lanes, we don't really have them, but we don't have the lanes really. But what we have in the city, like outside of the city, when you get further south, like Orange County, they have them. But here, it's just like when the meter's on to get on for the freeway on ramps. If you're carpooling if you have more than two people in the car, you don't have to stop and wait for the meter.
So that's actually.
so
cool.
you've heard of YouTube famous. Well, Eric's carpool famous.
Yeah.
He's everybody's tweeting at Dunkcore trying to get him in his car.
Yo, bro, I'm trying to get down. I'm trying to get to Santa Monica and want to make it in under an hour.
Pick up Eric first. All you gotta do is buy me a chicken shawarma, and let me eat in your car.
Yeah.
One of those vending machines, right? That's where you got them from, the vending machine.
Oh god.
Gotta make it to the 3rd Street Promenade by 8.
So yeah, I'm really bad at sitting, and I can't do it. So I'm gonna drive you everywhere. Don't worry, you'll be safe. Even people that are good drivers, like, I don't know, I just view everybody as a terrible
like
driver.
that. I mean, after my car accident that kind of fucked me up for a while, I was like that. I was like, oh, too close, stop. But that was because I was having like post-traumatic stress about a car accident.
I think where there's a bit of a disconnect, Joe, with your expectation or your thoughts and mine. See, you're saying that you're going to drive me everywhere because you're a bit of a control freak and that you apologize, but you will, and I'll be safe. My expectation is I paid $800 to get there. You're going to drive me. I'm going to put a little fucking hat on you, and I'm going to call you Jeeves, and you can drive me around and open the door for me.
You can call me Joe Q Car, and I'll drive you anywhere. Follow me on Twitter, Joe Q
Call
Car.
888 Joe Q Car.
Joe Q Car, get a ride to wherever you are. Done.
I think you're onto something, Joe.
I think we're about to start an Uber competitor. I'm gonna get an Uber competitor going that's just for Just Cool Enough listeners.
Yeah.
All right, I need to get picked up in Wyoming.
It's really inconvenient because it takes you days to get out there. So you got to make appointments in advance.
Yeah, I'm over in Austria.
I was actually thinking of doing a think of this idea, and somebody's going to take it now that I'm going to say it, but like a long haul ride sharing service where you would be like Detroit to Chicago, like not Uber's like in town.
They have one of those called the airplane.
Or the bus
or the train.
But I'm saying like that stuff.
Or a taxi cab.
Okay, fine. You shit all over my $1 million idea. Whatever. That could have been our thing, but whatever. I never mind. Terrible idea. I'll stop talking.
Enough.
Well, yeah, exactly, right.
What do you mean our thing? You were gonna turn like, hey, I know we've been.
You were gonna be the brand liaison, Eric, but now you're fucking fired. How do you like that? Ike, you're promoted.
Well, guys, it's been 299 episodes, but we're stopping because we're starting a ride-sharing program.
Everybody's doing it.
We've been doing it for 7 years, so that we can do a ride-sharing.
He needs a really good commercial. He was hoping that you'd like look up some YouTube how-tos on how to get some special effects in there. Yeah.
Just right enough.
You want to get the red lights behind the cab to look like they're trailing behind it like a rocket ship? This is what you do.
This 12-year-old knows exactly what he's talking about, but I can't respect or listen to him.
You got some really in-depth tips on editing cinematically, but fuck, dude. Make these when your balls drop.
I can't stand this. It's the worst, but you have to listen to them because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
like, how did this 12-year-old get the edge on me? How did that happen?
Because he's been doing it since he was 8.5, whereas I've only been doing this 6 weeks.
That's exactly it, actually. Yeah.
And he's actually 9 now, so he's got a little bit of.
He's 9.5. Ike. Pay attention. Oh god. So you guys aren't down for the ride-sharing service?
No.
Okay, I got other ideas too.
How about you ride it out till it fails, and when it doesn't fail, I'll hop on as co-CEO.
I think that's what we're gonna call it. Hop on. Good idea, Ike. That's why you're the VP. Eric, you're still fired.
That's okay. I don't want.
And if the car sharing service works, we have at least still a good name for an escort service or a car sharing escort service.
That's called a pivot. That's called the market pivot. We're going for some more blue ocean markets. Actually, and think of this, guys.
Uber out. You get an escort and a car.
And we have entertainment for every chauffeur service can be accompanied by Just Cool Enough. That's synergy.
Episodes
we got 300. We have almost 300 episodes of this.
Self-marketing.
People would love it just hearing this the whole time.
Hey, no, actually, surprisingly, I used to play all of the old WoW radio stuff on the dart van that I drove at school because I was the only one to do it. People would just have to listen to it in the back, and sometimes it would be max speed or whatever, and I'd just be chugging along.
Yeah, dude, you got me a hug from a girl one time. She's like, "You're the Speedy F40 guy that I hear on the bus." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, and Ike's like looks at me. He's like, "She likes your show." I'm like, "Oh, hi, yeah, that's me. I didn't think anybody listened."
I paid her. She had lice. I would just say.
You should have told me about that. I probably still have lice. Oh gosh. So
email?
No, there's no email. And I saw that one from Brady, but I almost am positive we read that.
Yeah, I know. I know for a fact we read.
Did we? I just was it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we read that earlier on this episode.
Yeah, we read this on this episode already.
This episode, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I did my bit, Brady. I said I would read it, and clearly we've apparently already read it, so we're not going to go back there. We're trying to keep a certain degree of continuity to our show.
Yeah, if we can only have a little context.
I like how whoever marked it started and hit the important arrow button.
I think the important arrow comes because it was just a second email.
Like, this person really wants to be read. We got to save it for next week. We don't know if there's going to be emails for episode 300.
But if you'd like to email the show for episode 300, we could do an Ask Us Anything show. So we'll get 2 more emails that ask us just what we've already been answering.
Oh, good idea.
Or you can email the show at justcoolenough.com by next Wednesday, and we will try to read it out on the air. Or we'll just refer to the fact we've already read it out on the air before.
So I'd like to take this lull in our conversation that I just introduced
to
plug shoutengine.com, start a podcast for free in another 5 minutes, and also alphagreekradio.com, where you can find great shows like Daily Tech News Show hosted by Tom Mayer.
Alpha Greek Radio? That's
Alpha Greek Radio, Delta Phi Gamma Radio.
Yeah. Lambda.
But they do a amazing job streaming us live to millions of different devices. Whether they download us is a whole different story. But we could be on millions of different devices. Thank you to Todd and Alpha Geek Radio. Check them out. They have a whole host of shows, and they do live chat rooms on most of them. So go check it out. Even Total Biscuit is there, and the Show X, which was the Octal and Hordak and Doc spinoff. So.
You know what I'm thinking? This is what I've got. I've got episode 300, do an Ask Us Anything type deal, even though we always answer most of the emails anyway. But we instead of like, bring your kid to work day, it's bring a friend to the live show day. Like somebody who's never fucking heard us before, bring them into the chat room, or even if they're sitting next to you, and subject them to at least an hour of torture. But don't tell them what they're getting into. But bring people. We want more.
We should all try to bring our parents.
I think Eric's parents already listened to this, and yours, I'm pretty sure, have alienated you for the fact that you're now a Satan worshiper who married some devil woman.
My aunts and uncles also, they're like, oh, I listened to your show. It's very interesting. I'm like, oh, sorry, Aunt Ro. She's like, yeah, it's
Now she's going to comment tomorrow on Friday. She's like, hey, I heard you brought my name up in the show this
I would
week.
like to shout out to my Aunt Ro. She made a delicious marinated steak for us that one time. Thank you very much. Also, Uncle Al, thanks for inviting me to the Adult Stock Club. I thought that was very nice of you.
This is so dirty. It's like adult Lego night. You're expecting strippers to show up? I don't understand.
Well, I feel like I finally graduated from the kiddie table because my Uncle Al came to me and was like, Joe, if you give me $30 a month, you could be in Stock Club. I'm like, I already have like investments and stuff, but I'll look into it. Sorry, Uncle Al. It's just not my thing. But anyway,
it's not my thing. Continuing doing the show anymore. So let's stop talking about all this horse shit.
We're still like 15 minutes.
What are you doing?
It's 7:16.
For some reason, I thought 5 minutes.
Wow! Is that how the show ends?
Yeah. Welcome to episode 299, the last show that ends early.
Yeah, we end this one early to build up the.
See, building up a climax, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm also a little upset that now on my way to have to go down and see you, I'm going to miss Heroes, and I'm going to be really upset if you spoil it for me, and I might just smother you with a pillow while you sleep.
It's going to be terrible.
I'm expecting that.
Spoiler.
I'm trying to set my expectations super low.
Okay.
You can't. It's not possible to limbo that low.
Who cares about Heroes, honestly? Like, why?
Nobody.
Why even?
That's
That
why they
show's
canceled
over.
it 5 years ago.
Go watch Misfits. It's way better.
Yeah.
And it actually
Of course, I
ends.
shouldn't say that I'm going to smother you in your sleep, because if Sarah really gets pissed off at you in the next 24 hours and she smothers you in your sleep, I'm going to look really bad because I said it on air.
My brother's studying criminal justice, and he said smothering is the best way to kill someone.
No fingerprints?
No fingerprints, and there's no bulged capillaries and stuff like that. So it's actually really hard to trace how they actually died. So a pro tip.
So I'm not sleeping in your house this weekend.
Welcome to the. All this can be yours. I have a topic.
Convenient that you're all moving out and such, and that hole in your basement that you dug a few weeks ago that happens to be around 6 feet deep.
Well, it's people don't have
concrete,
access to a lot of chemicals and things like that. So
It's all been your plan from the beginning. Bury me and Amanda in the basement.
So I was talking to my brother yesterday. My brother Anthony's taking classes for criminal justice, like I just mentioned, and he had to sit through 3 hours of slides from a criminal scene investigator, and he saw some of the worst stuff. He was like, dude, it's like steakandcheese.com. It's like all the bad stuff in /B, but worse. And the criminal justice guy is totally jaded to the thing. He's like, all right, if you see here, this is when the guy shit on the girl's neck. Yeah, she's decapitated. All right, and this is when the other guy, they sawed his bones off. And so people in the class are all almost throwing up and getting up and fainting and all this shit. My brother's sitting there just kind of pulled his cap down a little bit at some times. He's like, oh God, that's gross. That's gross. That's gross.
Yeah, and it's weird because I kind of find it wow, that's really cool. But then I'm like, but these are real people. Am I fucking myself up right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And you have to, at the start of the class, they didn't even do a warning or anything. They were just like, all right, this episode or this class, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of dead shit. And
This is the video of that guy who fell on his face and literally split his head in half.
Yeah.
But he's still alive as they hold him in the hospital. He's like, ah!
I know, that's exactly what. They're weird, crappy, bulged eyeball. He's telling me about all this stuff. It's making me sick to my stomach. I'm like, holy crap. And
so basically, it's just faces of death crammed into a class.
Yeah, for 3 hours straight. So some guy, this is a story. I'm going to steal my brother's story here because it's kind of funny.
He's going to come on the show and tell it?
He might not. He probably won't. But this kid who's kind of a cool guy in the class, he walked in 15 minutes early with his bag of flaming hot Cheetos. He's like, hey, what's up, everybody? And I was right between there switching slides. And he's just kind of walking around, having a good time, sits down in his seat. And then 2 slides go by, and he's crunching on his Cheetos. He looks up. He's like, oh, damn. And he got up and kind of like was like browning out and fell into the wall and was trying to make it out the door and just tumbled out the door because he just wasn't ready for that. I'm like, oh God, man, what are you seeing? It was some
I imagine
shit.
he was like a cartoon character where he like fell down on his side and then rolled up the stairs and then out the door like a cartoon.
He did. He was all white and like pasty afterwards. He's like, oh, I'll be fine. The teacher's like, are you sure? Can you hold on to this? It's like, I don't know. This guy's intestines falling out of his body.
It should be a graduation requirement. Here's 6 hours of this. If you walk out at any point during this, then you're not going to graduate. This was not the profession for you.
Apparently, like this is like the sex ed of criminal justice. Like everybody talks about it and know it's gonna happen. And even the people that already took these classes were just like, did you do class number 38 yet? They're like,
That's
no.
how I feel about. I tried playing America's Army once, and
yeah.
it's an okay game, but they had like this expansion that was like you can be a medic. I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. It's like you have to go through this tutorial. I was like, okay, the tutorial is literally you sitting in a classroom watching a PowerPoint presentation. I was like, I don't want to be a medic this bad. Like I don't want to be. I want to like click a button and like go through a tutorial.
Press
like,
E to heal.
Yeah, you have to flip defibrillator to bring a guy back, not okay, so as you can see, like it was literally like you had to walk into a classroom, take a seat in the back, and like a 3D guy was like click now with
It's like an early Sierra game.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my god, no, Alt F4, Alt F4, Alt F4. Fuck you, America's Army.
That game I thought was gonna be really great, and then I just decided to play Counter-Strike instead.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that a recruiting tool?
It
Yeah,
was.
no, it was. Yeah, it was made by the Army.
Isn't Arma? What is that?
Arma's just made by some dudes. I think they're like Danish dudes or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
They're just like tactical realism.
It's like, but I don't have time to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I got 2 tangos spotted over there. But yeah. So, don't just FYI, if you're getting criminal justice, you might see some dead stuff.
Wow, really? That's
Yeah.
weird.
So, how's your guys' week's been?
It's been okay. I played. It's. I don't want to say it's that different, but playing Dungeons and Dragons with a group of real people, it's a different energy than playing over the internet.
Better, worse, closer, warmer, or just different?
It's just different. It's a whole different thing. It's like, it's funny because like one guy has this character, this barbarian half orc. That he's like the secondary DM, so he just made some shitty character to play that he doesn't really care about. But one of his character's like things is he won't drink a potion. He's like he refuses to drink a potion, and we were like been trying like he was almost dead. He couldn't heal, and we're like just drink. We're like coming up with all these weird like in-game ways. Like I cast this spell on him and make this look like that, and he'd like roll and like fucking like roll a
Like, he's
natural 20, and it's like well you can't deceive him then. It's like god damn it, and then one guy literally just got him to drink through role playing, and it was just the craziest thing.
So, like, he was like, you can't trick me. I'm not drinking this potion. Why
Well,
didn't he
he's
want to drink a potion? Like, what's his deal?
That I don't know. That was just like one of his character's things. He's like, my character wouldn't do that. And then it's like, okay, we try and trick him. Okay, roll. No, he doesn't. And one guy was literally like, just solved it through role playing. It was the most satisfying yet annoying thing I'd seen in a while. So I was like, I cast minor illusion and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but he has advantage on those checks right now, and and it's like, god damn it.
Why don't you just like try to give him like something that definitely is not a potion? Like, here's some chocolate milk, and then like pretend, and then like there's potion.
Because we
in
were
it or
all
something.
psychically linked, so he could read our thoughts.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So that's why it made it that much harder, because we couldn't go, what if we do this? Because we could read each other's minds. So.
Wait a sec. But how do you get psychically? Like, would you fall into the psychically linked well, or
We were in a fungal forest, and we all got on some
High on shrooms.
Yeah, some weird mushrooms that linked us all psychically.
But then, are you linked with the monsters in that forest too?
Well, we're linked not with the monsters, but with the forest itself.
So basically, what you're telling me is you had like an Avatar experience.
Yeah, it was
So
like
you
it was
had
like
sex
straight
with
up
a plant.
Avatar. No. We drank some weird moon juice or whatever, and then we could all hear each other's thoughts, and then we really wanted Thakrush to heal because he was going to die, but he wouldn't drink potions.
See, and in my game this week that I've been GMing, I actually got one of my coworkers from work. New guy at work, didn't. He's a huge nerd. We've been playing D&D, Diablo with him. But I was like, hey, you should come over and play D&D. And I had already capped the limit on my players, but I was like, oh, new guy, he's really into it. Never played before. Shows up. First combat we get into. Now, of course, as Eric can attest, trying to get anybody into a group for the first time, it's really weird because your players almost have to be like, hey, you look trustworthy, you should come with us. Like, there's no way to easily make it happen.
Yeah.
So this is this guy's first combat ever. His name's Nate. He's like, yeah, my first combat, I got this. So he goes, he's playing a warlock. He's like, we got the tank in front, which is friend Ryle, fighting this guy.
Yeah, Ryle, go Ryle.
Warlock's like, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna cast like Force Push, which basically like does some damage, like 1d10 damage, and pushes them 10 feet. So he's like, I'm gonna cast on this guy. Well, he crit fails and ends up hitting Ryle in the back with a Force Push, pushing him into this room surrounded by bad guys. And Amanda, my girlfriend, standing there, she's kind of like, they're all kind of a little suspect of the new guy who just showed up. She's like, wait a second, the new guy's trying to screw him over. This is how you do it, though. So she's playing rogue and like pulls out her crossbow and shoots into the room and crit fails and shoots Ryle in the back. She's like, I didn't mean to. And he's like, I didn't mean to either. And Ryle's like, can somebody get this arrow out of my back, please? That's what you get for trying to show other people up. I also had, as a high of my week, because I'm sure you'll both appreciate this, more so probably Joe. Did you ask Sarah's parents if...
No, I told them. I was like, you're super married now.
All right.
Now we're family, like me.
So I had a dream the other night, and where I was sitting on the edge of this body of water, whether it be a pond or a river, it doesn't really matter.
Like
my girlfriend's father is like sitting next to me, and I turned to him, and I was like, I was thinking about asking your daughter to marry me, but I know that you're kind of old school, and I'd like to get your blessing before I do it. And he looks at me with a smile on his face and says, you guys have been together for 7 years. You guys are great together. And, I just think you need to understand that there comes a point in every couple's relationship where, it's time to start thinking about moving on and maybe breaking up. When I woke up. So I shared that with her. She got a laugh out of it. I shared it with her father, who's like, maybe it's trying to tell you something. And then he started cracking up.
Oh my God!
All right. I'll remember that.
Maybe it's just your subconscious finally realizing I've never respected you as a human being.
Oh, maybe you fixed a couple things around the house. I might like you a little bit.
I know that my daughter could do a lot better than.
God, that's just terrible. Well, subconscious is a hell of a drug. So, hearing about other people's dreams is pretty much the most boring thing ever. That was just barely but that one was okay. Like I can.
Well, it had the punchline at the end. It's kind of like a joke. Like you're expecting the father to be like, "Yeah, you'd make a great son," but nope, not this time around.
Yeah, if you just lamed out and was like, "You'd be a great son-in-law to me. It'd be a great honor to have you," but I'd been like, "Oh God, like why did you say this?" But no, it ended up all right. It was the rebound. Dreams are usually the worst jokes, or like the worst. Let me tell you about my dream. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to hear anything about your dumb dream.
That's why I barely
remember with your mother. And you'd be like, wait, what? That's weird.
I barely remember.
Don't tell me about
dreams. Except for that one time, my friend, I had a dream of.
Oh, do tell! I love hearing about your dreams.
No, I just had this. The last dream I can remember that.
Are you seriously about to try to tell me a dream?
Yeah, just let him go with it. We're gonna lock this one out. It's episode 299. Let Eric finish with his dream.
I had this dream that we stopped talking about this horse shit and started plugging each other.
All right.
But then it didn't come true. So tell us about your dream.
My plug for this week is the latest sketch from my sketch team, Hate Mail. It's called Burbank Game Night, about two suburban couples enjoying a fun board game night, and it's just a very typical night for those that live in Burbank. So you can check it out by either going to facebook.com/justcool or facebook.com/hatemailshow or youtube.com/hatemailshow, or you can just search the show notes for this show at justcoolenough.com.
My plug, actually, I watched that Burbank skit, Eric. It was very inside California kind of thing. I'm like, is Burbank a good city or a bad city?
No, I think it's mostly just suburban.
Yeah, like that. I got the feel. It's like inside suburbia, aka Burbank. Speaking of things to plug, I have check it out on Friday, the 25th. Amazon is doing a 1-day Prime offer discount.
How
to
much are they paying you for this shit?
I saw this. It was a cool thing on
But you
Reddit.
plugged it like everywhere.
Because
at least
I
you're
think
getting a cut of
save
it.
a couple bucks, guys. Go check out the Just Cool Enough Facebook. I plugged a thing if you want
Also,
to save.
check out this meme.
Well, don't check out the memes.
Well, then stop posting them on a goddamn Facebook page.
What are you talking? I posted one meme one time.
Joe's trying to become Facebook famous because not a lot of people have done that. He's just figured if he keeps posting crap content,
Yeah, that's what
he'll
you
save
do.
up.
Short content, small content. Actually, our Facebook has gotten all right stuff, so thanks for clicking on stuff and liking it and sharing it. But it doesn't really matter to us because we don't care about it, but we like to have you there because that's where we post when we're going to go live and stuff. Anyway, fine. I'm not going to talk about that at all. I'm actually going to talk about my real plug was going to be, since Eric just shit on my other thing I was talking about.
Hey, we both did. Me
And
specifically,
Ike.
though.
I can't be mad at Ike, though. I'm about to see him. I can't stay mad at that pretty face. My plug for this week is Stories of Technological Failure, and this is a YouTube playlist put on by engineer guy. He's his name's Bill, and he is a professor at some college in Illinois. And
Did you say he's an engineer guy of some kind?
Yeah, so go check it out. It's Stories of Technology Failure. It's a YouTube playlist. It's like 8 minutes long, 10 minutes long or so. But it's really cool. It goes over Betamax and VHS. And
I mean, the guy from that Disney show?
Who?
No, that's Beekman's. From
Beekman's World?
I was going with Baymax, but,
Beowulf?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is actually Anthony Hopkins from Beowulf.
Ah, that makes sense. But he has a bunch of other cool stuff on his channel, so go check it out. Ike, what do you got to plug?
I'm going to plug our 300th show one more time. So tune in next week. Well, we're hopefully, I won't have died in a plane crash, and Eric will be here, and he won't have died because his car blew up again. And Joe will hopefully be here so that because his girlfriend didn't smother him while he slept.
Wife, it's my wife now.
Whatever, it's all the same thing.
All right. Well,
unless it comes to taxes, who gives a shit what you call it?
Well, I still say girlfriend. I
But-
slip up all the time.
If you're out there and you want to join us for our 300th show live, you can check in next week, hopefully, at 6:30 EST time. You can email us if you can't make it live. We'll try to read out all your shit on the air. But if you really want to show us some love, you can go ahead on iTunes and rate us and review us and do all the other bullshit that Joe said at the beginning of the show. I don't know why I get you two mixed up all the time. I think it's because I do cocaine. No, I don't really do cocaine.
We're very much.
We're both
similar.
Italian from huge Catholic families.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the beard. It's the beard that really
It's because we
grows
both
me.
live with our moms.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? It's the beard. It's our boyish good looks, actually. I can understand. See, we both. Do you have a dimple, Eric? Give me a smile.
I can't.
It's 7:32. Should we just wrap this?
I'm waiting for Eric
Actually,
to take us off air.
And then I think what I'll do after Eric takes us off air is I will read out as our kind of our outro. I will read Brady Rainey's.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably get to that email one day.
Well, we'll wait till after Eric
Hey.
says goodbye.
Fuck you, Joe.
What? Is that
No,
the?
I think
Oh,
this is where we take.
that was
out,
an
like, we
abrupt
go quiet.
ending. That was super
We-
abrupt.
Like we go quiet, they show, and then we just pretend like we're talking. but
Hey,
this way I can
JCE
pretend
crew,
like-
I've been working on so much this summer. 7 days to the week of the 2.